Hi Gemini, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your spirit guide message reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps this channel grow, and it makes me unbelievably happy. So thank you so much for doing so, and thank you so much for being here. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Gemini. Spirit guide message for Gemini, Gemini. Spirit guide message for Gemini, Gemini. Spirit guide message for Gemini, Gemini. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. So think of the spread as a tree. The branches are here. The roots are here. So let's see what your roots have to say. Actually, before we start, the left-hand side is your inner self. The middle, your heart, your emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So at your roots, we have the Ace of Swords, which is fantastic. You're represented by the swords in the minor arcana. You're represented by the lovers in the major arcana. So you have a gift just for you coming forward. And you have the Nine of Cups. Then we have the Queen of Swords. So you're definitely taking this gift. And the Six of Wands for your inner self. Then you have the King of Swords. I love that. Soulmate connection, true love connection. Whenever I have the King and the Queen from the same suit, from the same deck in a reading, this is soulmate connection, true love connection, powerful connection coming forward. And then you have the King of Cups. So it definitely could be love, or it can be working towards love. It's like we're opening up the door and saying, I'm ready for this. I'm ready to have something beautiful come into my life, whether it be romantically, whether it be business-wise, whether it be personally. We're ready for something beautiful. And then in the public arena, we have the Eight of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. We're working hard and we're making money. So that's lovely. Or what we value as much as money is coming forward. So that is absolutely lovely. We have very strong sacred masculine energy here because we have 3 of the 4 kings here during this time. So we just don't have the King of Wands, but that's fine. Let's see what the chakra energy is. Spirit guide message for Gemini, Gemini. Spirit guide message for Gemini, Gemini. Spirit guide message for Gemini, Gemini. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Flexibility, the Sacral Chakra, which also opens up our creativity and our sexual energy. And then spirit guide, what is the energy that Gemini needs to be mindful of? Spirit guide, what is the energy that Gemini needs to be mindful of? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels. The King of Swords. We have to be mindful of ourselves and being a little bit too much in the masculine energy mindset during this time, very much connecting with the sacred masculine and not really balancing it out with the sacred feminine. So that we do have to be mindful of. We can be very focused. The swords in their negative sense can be sharp-tongued, can be overly driven, can say exactly what they mean and be brutally honest to the point of hurting others' feelings, hurting their own feelings because of just saying, like, I have to say it as it is. And sometimes we don't. Sometimes we can kind of step back. This is also going to be very much driven by results. Like, let me see the results. Let me see, all the way that it is supposed to be. And then if it's not exactly the way that we had envisioned or imagined, we can get very angry, overwhelmed, and harsh on ourselves. A little bit toxic is what Spirit is saying. But it's also being very mindful of people who speak to our Gemini sensibilities. I know people laugh and say Geminis don't have sensibilities. Yes, they do. They just kind of flits around like bumblebees, collecting all the pollen to make beautiful honey. So Geminis do have sensibilities. It's just that we're much more ready to say, I've gotten enough. This is all I needed to learn from this part or from this section or from this place, and now I can move forward. So here we might find somebody who very much has a whole bunch of knowledge on different things, who can speak really, really well and be super charming, but they're going to be all about the facts. And we might think, oh, well, we can have them kind of come out of their shell. We can help with this. They don't always have to be so serious, and yet they do. That's who they are. So we have to be very mindful of falling into that trap, because we can easily walk down that road and not let any of the light and the beauty into our lives, which we need. We just absolutely need that. Now, with the Sacral Chakra, the Sacral Chakra is where a lot of negative energy is held from this life and from past lives. So the Sacral Chakra is also creativity and sexual energy. But when we have negativity come forward, it's like we almost feel like we get so far and then we're pushed right back. So here it's saying, what do I want? What do I need? What do I desire? Where is it that I want to be? What is it that I want to create and see flourish within my life? And how can I move forward towards this? How can I call this in openly and honestly? And it's being more flexible. It might be practicing yoga. It might be going for a walk. It's physically, I see the need for flexibility coming forward. That's what Spirit is showing me. And then also mentally, spiritually, the need for flexibility, saying nothing is set in stone. Nothing has to be a certain way. There is expression and there's ideas, and let me open up the doors and see what happens. Now, at our root, God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, is handing us a gift of knowledge, of insight, of tenacity, of sharp wit, of power of words, and determination. We're definitely taking this gift because we have both the King and Queen of Swords here. What we're also doing is we're also learning from this gift. We're learning new ways forward. We're learning new power within our speech or within our way of thinking and sculpting our world. We're seeing ourselves more honestly than we have before. We're opening up to new ideas, to new passion, to new desires, to new instincts, and we're really opening up the door to what we want. Remember, the sword is the only weapon within the tarot. And I know I say this all the time, but it's because it's important. When we have the only weapon come forward, and when we're represented by the only weapon, what there is there's a ferocity to us. There's an intensity that people don't really understand from an air sign energy, because we can say, oh, I see that point of view, and I see that point of view, and be open and honest about it. And they could be absolutely polarizing points of view that people are yelling and screaming over. And we're like, why can't you find the harmony in the middle? If we can bring that energy forward, if we can say, why can't you find the harmony in the middle? Why can't you see? Why can't you understand? Why can't you open the door? That becomes a superpower. That becomes a weapon that isn't to harm, but is to build things forward. We're cutting through a lot of the stagnation within our world, and we're moving forward towards something more. We're crowned with victory. We're crowned with tenacity, and it leads us to the Nine of Cups. It leads us to prosperity and blessings and bounty and wishes coming true. But we're not able to see it because we're guarding it, right? We're guarding what we love, what we want, but we're not seeing it. So others are going to be able to see our blessings very easily. They're going to be able to see our power. They're going to be able to see our joy, our happiness, our shining hearts. But we're not going to be able to see that as easily as they are. And why Spirit says our shining hearts is because there's such power and force and determination emotionally within ourselves. It's like Our hearts are leading us forward in a very powerful way, in a way that it aligns with our mind and our emotions and what we desire and what we want and what we need. So this door is opening. We're seeing things in a way that we hadn't seen things before. But we need to start celebrating ourselves, what we desire, what we want, where it is that we're headed. And we need to turn around and see the blessings and see the wishes that are coming true around us, to see the beauty that is leading us forward and to get out of our own way. It moves us then to the Queen of Swords. She's crowned with change, and she's the warrior queen. We have the warrior queen and we have the warrior king right here. We have the inner self with the Queen of Swords, and we have the emotional self with the King of Swords. Our heart and our minds are coming together. We also have our own backs. There is a sense of opening up the door to deeper connections, to deeper understandings, to saying, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is what I'm laying on the table. No, I'm not really willing to compromise on my core values and issues, but I'm willing to see what adventures open up. Just because I am a warrior does not mean that I am against change or against creativity and seeing what happens. It means that I've been honed in a certain way. It means that when the time comes to defend and to call forward my blessings, I can do so. And what we have here with the Queen of Swords is we have the sense of cutting through nonsense. We have this sense of knowing what we want, of speaking what we desire, of opening up our minds and our eyes to where it is that we want to be. We have this sense of, yes, being behind the scenes, because I see the queens as the directors behind the scenes and not the actors upon the stage, but we have enough actors here to more than make up for it. But in our inner self, what we want is for it to be done right. Preferably the first time. What we want is for the door to open. What we want is to move forward. And that's what we're creating. That's what we're calling forward within our lives, within ourselves, and within our victory, because we're moving forward towards victory. And if we weren't so stubborn, and if we weren't so fixated on our goals, we wouldn't be able to celebrate ourselves the way that we want to. We wouldn't call forward the beauty and the blessing that is a part of ourselves. And we would stand back in the shadows and not realize all that is coming before us, all that can be, all that will be, and all that has already come. And now's a time to start to celebrate. It's time to start to say, this is me. This is what I've created. This is what I desire. This is what I want. This is what I need. This is me. And it leads us to our emotional self, where we embrace, the queen is crowned with the butterflies. The king's throne has the butterflies on them. It's change. It's coming together. It's seeing. It's insight. It's flying. It's metamorphosis. It's transforming. Our mind is transforming because it is connected with our heart. And as our mind takes in the information, our heart says, what about this? What about me? How am I moving us forward? The King of Swords wants noble. He can be our worst enemy. Our heart can be our worst enemy and our greatest ally. Our heart is going to say, this is truth. And we're going to look at it and say, there's nothing true about that. Prove it. Give me facts. And our hearts will say, but this is what I feel. And this is what I need. And we have to listen. We have to listen and cut through the miasma of what we've been taught, the idiosyncrasies of others, the idiosyncrasies of ourselves, our passion, our insight, our desire, and our truth. And as we do so, as we embrace what's fundamentally true for us, as we look at life with new eyes, as we have our mind and our hearts have that open realm of conversation without one yelling over the other, but saying, I can see both sides of the story, tell me more. That starts to change our world, and it leads us to the King of Cups. It leads us to this place of standing in our power. The King of Cups says, emotionally, this is me. Now, if we're born on the cusp with Cancer, this part of our personality is going to be coming out very strongly. Or if we have water signs within our chart. Emotionally, we're very connected. We can be caught up in the undertow of everybody else's emotions. That's why when the King of Cups is at his best, is when he realizes, I can't change anybody else. I can't get anybody else to believe what I believe, see what I see, understand things the way I understand things. People are always going to see things a slightly different way. It's kind of like with color. It's like when you have a really bright lime green that can almost be yellow. How some people will say, oh, it's yellow, and others will say, oh, it's lime green. And yet they both will be right depending on how they see color and how their brain perceives it. And so here with the King of Cups, it's saying, this is me. The only person I can rule in my life is me. The only person I have any control over is me. And I will break the rules, and I will push the envelope, and I will try to get away with things that I know I shouldn't try to get away with. But this is me. Passionate, powerful, determined, messed up, overwhelmed, chaotic, forgetful. But this is me. And I love who I am. I love who I was. And I love who I'm becoming. And we might not have to like that person. As my mom would always say, I might not like you, but I love you. And that's very much the energy here. I might not always like the phases of my life. I might not always like the hardships and the pains and the disappointments and the angers and the upsets and the upheaval and the brokenness I had to go through. But I love me because I'm the only one I've got. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles. Hard work, dedication, determination, crafting, becoming, time and time again, getting better and better and better. This is what we're bringing to the table. We're bringing to the table tremendous skill. We can ignore our own skill and say, oh, it's not like everybody else wants. Oh, it's not what everybody else, says or thinks or whatever. Yeah, it's true. It's what I'm bringing to the table. And it's going to be different. Because not everybody is meant to be a bumblebee. Not everybody is meant to be a butterfly to flits from flower to flower to flower, gathering, gaining, understanding. It's taking all that energy, all that information, all that desire, and mixing it together. And seeing what we create. Hardworking, dedicated, determined. It brings us to financial success. Excuse me. To success that we value as much as money. It also says that if we're born on the cusp with Taurus, this part of our personality is going to be coming out very hard in the public arena, but also if we have earth sign energy within our chart, this is going to be coming out very profoundly. And it's going to be, how are things interconnected? How are they woven together? Where's the profit line? What do I desire? What do I want? What are my dreams? Am I going to be able to get my dreams if I stay here? Or do I have to expand in one way or another? How can I expand so that my hard work and my talents shine the most? And the King of Cups calls forward prosperity, calls forward bounty. In the public arena, you have the king that's meant to be seen. In the emotions, you have the king that's meant to be to the heart. In the inner self, we have the queen that's meant to self-reflect. So we're aligned to succeed in every single area. What we have to do is see our blessings and embrace our warrior spirit to be able to succeed the way that we want to be able to call forward exactly what we want. And Spirit is saying, I'm here and I'm handing you the gift that is crafted and carved and made just for you. Well, it's not carved, forged, just for you. Take it. Take it and see where it will lead you. Take it and be amazed. Your subconscious chakra message is divine wisdom. This is the star soul chakra located 6 inches above our crown. It is time for the divine wisdom to come, and it's time to be inspired. Our subconscious spirit guide message, or message to be mindful of from Spirit, is the Queen of Swords. We have the King of Swords and we have the Queen of Swords. Our greatest strength, ourselves, is also going to be our greatest weakness. We have to not get in our way. We have to not overthink and overanalyze and think somebody else has more to bring to the table, or try to, tear every little bit apart. Just be and see where that takes you. It moves us to our subconscious tarot message, which is strength. Our greatest strength during this time is going to be our compassionate understanding. It's going to be that people and animals follow us, not out of duty, but out of love. And that starts to change the world. And when we start to see that for ourselves and with ourselves, we start to see so much more than we ever imagined. The repeat of the number 8 here means that we can get too much in our own heads. We can make things too complicated and want things to be too perfect. Don't do that, Gemini. All right. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we move forward in Spirit's blessing. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Gemini.